registered anything. How are you guys doing this morning? Good. Today we're going to be doing a practice where music's important. And for those of you doing the recording or doing this from home, the music may not come through because it doesn't always come through Zoom. But we're going to be listening to music that I would never normally play in yoga. I really enjoy playing, if I either like silence or I like yoga music, because yoga music will help to complement the practice, and it helps, energetically to support what we're doing. And I like that it's sung in Sanskrit, so you're not getting locked into the lyrics or thinking about its meaning or it pulling at your emotions. So today I'm playing a popular artist, and I'll be playing songs that are sung in English and songs that you probably know because he is a Grammy award-winning artist, okay? But I was inspired to bring in his music for today because I got to see him at the Ryman, a couple weeks ago, and it was Ray LaMontagne. And so one thing that I want to say about Ray LaMontagne is if you know his music or if you know anything about his personality, he's extremely humble, extremely private. He's very shy. He has a lot of social anxiety. He doesn't even necessarily like getting up to perform in front of crowds, but he will do it because this is his passion. He loves to write songs, and he is an amazing singer. And if you don't know who he is, you're probably going to recognize some of the songs. So I had never seen him live before. I'd always wanted to see him live. He played at Ascend a couple years ago, and I wasn't able to go. And this time he was at the Ryman. And, there are certain moments where you just feel like things have come together and are kind of like in the perfect scenario. And I felt like that was the case with this concert, to be played at such an intimate theater with so much history like the Ryman. And for him to be so soft-spoken, it was an excellent venue because in between songs when he would speak, he had a very, very soft voice. He shared a story that when he started to get going writing music, he had been inspired by a group. I can't remember who the group was, and it inspired him to start writing, and that became a passion. He started to perform at little festivals, and he was discovered playing at a festival in Maine. And he told his manager once he got on the circuit of, playing, he says, I really want to be like the Lone Ranger. I don't necessarily need to be seen. I don't want all the press. I don't want the interviews. I want to remain a mystery, but I definitely want to be heard. And so think about that would not have happened if he was coming out today. Because most artists coming out today, it's all about the way they look and what they're presenting. And so fortunately, he got started like 18 or 20 years ago when artists could still kind of be in that type of zone. But anyway, it was a fantastic concert, and it was very inspiring because he had a kind of a hard upbringing. He moved around a lot, and with all of his social anxieties, to be able to conquer that fear and to be able to create the life that he wants is pretty inspiring, He now lives on an island off the coast of Maine. Couldn't get any more isolated than being on an island off the mainland, So anyway, I wanted to share a little bit of that story, and I want to share his music today because he's no different than us. And we are co-creators of our own life. And whenever we find a passion, whenever we discover something about ourselves, it's possible to create the life that we want to live. And so even though we've been through this collective trauma and we're still dealing with all the stuff from the pandemic, we have to remember to keep our dreams alive. We have to remember to keep living life to the fullest and keep that zest going. So that's my hope for you today as we get into the body. So we're going to start in child's pose. Go ahead and drop into this position where you're laying over your lap. And your arms really can be in two different shapes. It can be wrapped around your body like so.
or you can have your arms extended in front of you. With the arms extended out in front of you, it's going to create more length and traction for your spine. And with your arms wrapped around you, you're going to find that the spine gently rounds, and you may get a little bit more weight down in the brow, penetrating that acupressure point here. So go ahead and take a moment just to feel how introspective this pose is. Think about when someone has a lot of social anxiety, when someone has those type of major anxieties, they tend to be more withdrawn. And being withdrawn at times is really important for each and every one for us, because all of us need time to be alone. Time to ponder what it is that we want, how it is that we feel, what moves us internally, spiritually, or emotionally, or otherwise. So take time just to go within and allow your breath to help to guide you there. Breathing in and out in a conscious way, where it's becoming more lively, more open, more free. On your next inhale, if your arms are wrapped around you, go ahead and extend them out in front of you. Lift your head and heart up. Walk your hands off to the right side of your mat, onto the coolness of the wood floor, and gently bow back down. Keep the left elbow flying up, the left fingertips crawling away from the body until you reach your max. And then take a moment to explore breathing into your left lung. Feeling that lung inflate on the in-breath and empty on the out-breath. On your next in-breath, gently lift the head and heart again. Walk your hands over the sticky mat off to the other side. Emphasize that right side body through the stretch. Gently lower the head, even if it doesn't touch down. And exaggerate, putting more breath into the right lung. Feel that side of your body swell. And relax as it empties out. Something that I want you to acknowledge is this expression of be here now. One of the song titles that we'll be listening to in Savasana is called Be Here Now. And back in the 60s, Ram Dass wrote a book called Be Here Now that's really important on the path of yoga. Inhale, lift the head and heart, walk your hands back over to the mat, and then bring yourself into standing Vajrasana, where you're lifting yourself up and then forming diamond, hands together, gazing up towards your wrists. And as you exhale, separate your hands, gently fold over into extended child's pose. We're going to do a baby version of a sun sal. Inhale, rock up to hands and knees. This is like our plank. And as you exhale, dip down like you're about to kiss the ground, Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale, you're going to slide through on your belly, send your shins back, your toes back into Bhujangasana Cobra State. Exhale, slide your hands out, palms together, and lower to the brow, pose of prostration. And slide back underneath the shoulders. Push up to table, backing your hips over your knees, and then slide your arms out, keeping the armpits elevated. Try not to get into a back bend. but rather suctioning your ribs and your belly in towards your back body. Puppy pose, similar to down dog. So on your next inhale, walk your hands back and then sweep them up. And then as you exhale, concluding this baby suns out, sitting back in hero pose on your heels. We're gonna do that one more time as a warm up. Inhale, rise into standing Vajrasana and then move into Dhamma. Exhale, separate the hands and fold to extended child's. Inhale, rock up hands and knees. Exhale, dip down like you're gonna kiss the ground. Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale, slither through to the belly. Activate the muscles in your back, Judasana. And exhale, slide it out and let go. Pose across face. Inhale, hands slide back. Rock up table. Once the thighs are perpendicular to the floor, hands slide out to puppy. Creating this inversion, head between the upper arms. You're gonna walk the hands back, bring the arms up overhead. And exhale, concluding this, coming down to sit on the heels. All right, be here now. Inhale, rock forward. Step forward with one foot, doesn't matter which. And lean into it to stand up. You got it. Travel to the top of your mat. And start to flow more. Inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms together and humbly bow. Taking the standing forward fold. Pausing here, gravitate your heart a little lower towards your knees and chins. Let your heavy head. Opening up the hamstrings. Inhale, come halfway up and lengthen out the vertebrae. Exhale, bow out. Inhale, we're gonna take plank. And then we're gonna hold plank. And instead of allowing your mind to escape from what you're doing, truly be present. Feel the contact beneath your hands. Distribute the weight evenly in the hands, so it's not just bringing all the weight in your wrist. The eyes pluck up towards the sky, belly engaged. Now rock forward with your feet. Exhale, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. Exhale, rock and roll back to downward facing dog. Hanging out upside down. Finding your breath. On your next exhalation, gently descend the knees and untuck your toes coming into table. We're going to open up the spine, so take your cow and exhale, create your cat stretch, reversing that motion. Inhale, exploring cow, create that saddle in the back. And exhale, round it out. And as you're maneuvering between these two postures, notice where you get a little bit more stuck, or you may be a little bit more stiff in your back, and see if you can work with that region in each pose. Inhale to table, exhale, downward facing dog. From returning to downward facing dog, we're gonna bring the feet to the top of the mat. You can lunge, you can float, you can meditationally walk. Return to Ardha Uttanasana first, and then exhale, let go. Inhale, root to rise. Bring it up to the top. And then exhale, we're going right back in. Inhale, lift and lengthen out. Exhale, flow down. Inhale, take your plank. Breathe here. Now. Stay with your breath. And then exhale, rock forward with your feet. Crank it down, hover and hold if possible. Inhale, rise to up dog. Exhale, roll it back to down dog. So in that last sequence, we dropped the table, we worked on the spine. And now we're gonna drop to the knees and we're gonna work on the core. So come down to your knees, untuck your toes. Inhale, right leg back. So that threw me off, right? I'm not used to it. I was like, did my brain just exhale, contract and curl. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, round it out. And then continue with these reps. And maybe as you're continuing these reps, just think about how music has a way of touching us somehow, right? That vibration, those tones, those lyrics, the stories. Sometimes the story or the plucking of the guitar strings pulls at our heartstrings. Sometimes hearing the drums rattles us at our core. All right, send that right knee down. Let's take it to the left. We're extending, stretching out on the in breath. We're contracting and strengthening the core on the out breath. Return to the table, curl the toes, land back to downward facing dog. Breathe here now. Push into the mounds of the hands, or into the fingers. And meditationally walk, lunge, or float the feet to the front. Coming halfway up and looking out with your eyes. And then drop back down. Another moment, being introspective. Inhale to the top. We're going to keep this going. This time we're going to work with the hips and the obliques. Once you fold down, inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, bow out. Inhale, take your plank. Leave here now. This is both a strengthener as well as a stretch for the wrists. All right, rock forward, lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, move up. Exhale, roll it on back. Loosen down to your knees, untuck the toes. Lower your left forearm and slide your right hand back. Now push down through the base, which is your left arm and right hand, so that you're also pulling up through your core and heart. You got it. Lift your right knee, look over the right shoulder, spread your toes nice and wide. And then to strengthen the hip, we're going to keep the knee held high, but we're going to crank it in towards the out frame of the right arm. Inhale, lift and lengthen back. Exhale, you're drawing into your side body. Inhale, push the foot out and up. And then exhale, draw in. Couple more. Good, now lower the right knee. Stack onto your left palm. Kick your left foot back. Your right leg down the lane of the mat. Now take the weight off the right hand and reach it skyward. Take that right arm over the side of the ear. Now working those side obliques and still working the hip. You're gonna create a fist with your right hand, and you're gonna draw the right hand arm towards each other. You got it. And then inhale, extend out through the right limbs. The right foot can hover. That's our knee repetition. Slow and steady here. We'll recruit more muscles and help you find the right engagements. So if any of you ever enjoy going to Colorado, enjoy moving from Denver up to Boulder and see the flat irons, that's what he's talking about in the song. He's also talking about the healing that can happen when you go into the mountains. When we have a saying in yoga, you have to feel to deal to heal. All right, let's come back to table. Right forearm down, left hand back, belly sections in. Look out over the left shoulder, lengthening through the left leg, and then exhale, draw it in towards the outer frame of the arm. Continue with breaths. In breath takes you one shape, exhale to the other. Last one. Lower the left knee, stack to the right hand, kick the right foot off. Left leg down the lane of the mat, and free up the left arm. Sail it over the ear. Then as you exhale, contract and draw it in. Inhale, extend and expand. Exhale, contract and strengthen. Couple more. Cautiously come back to table, curl the toes, launch into Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. All right, so in that first Surya Namaskara, we just warmed up. This is the baby form. The second one, we flex the spine. Second set, we worked the core. Third set, we worked the hip and the obliques. Fourth set will be the glutes. So let's bring the feet to the top of the mat, open up through the heart first, and then exhale, drink down. All right, let's get ready to get into the glutes. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bow out. Inhale, give yourself a little pick me up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plank. Tell yourself, be here now. Good, rock forward, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna come forward and lower the left knee. Once you lower the left knee, you're picking up your right foot. Yes, the ankle will be flexed. All right, we're gonna pump the foot up until you feel the right side of your buttocks start to clench and engage. And then exhale, soften and lower. Good, inhale, pump, lift, pause at the top. Good, exhale, release. So put a still point at the top of the in-breath. Unless you think you're pregnant, then keep the breath flowing. All right, now curl the left toes under, keep that right foot flexed and lifted. We're gonna do the same pumping action from downward facing dog. So it's not downward scorpion, we're just picking the foot up Feel the glutes engage, and then exhale, relax the knee. You're gonna get rewarded with pigeon next, which will be a nice stretch for the buttocks. So let's set up for that now. Let's go ahead and bring that shin behind the hands. Slide your left leg back. Now, here's your reward. So this album, or at least this song from this album, came out in 2020. This album is something I've listened to a lot during the pandemic. It's called I Was Born to Love You. Sometimes you don't hear the you. Sometimes it just sounds like I was born to love, which I think is a very important yogic message. I often say we were born by love, for love, to love. Bring that love home to yourself.
I know you give what you want. Don't you think it's time you learn and trust every secret? Take you smile, take you sing. Just want to get back with you. Sing a song.
Take about 3 more breaths.
Just stay here while we do the vinyasa. If you want.
Inhale it slowly lift. All right, we're gonna come back to table. Then curl the toes, lift to plank. Be here now. I know we're so used to rushing through plank to go through the whole vinyasa, but sometimes it's nice to sustain, to persevere. All right, rock forward with the feet, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, rise to up. Exhale, rock and roll to downward facing dog. All right, and we're gonna do that sequence to the left. Again, isolating the glutes here, so let's lower the right knee. Let's pick up the left foot, flex that ankle. Pump it up on the in-breath, maybe pause at the top, and then exhale, soften and release. Continue. Now let's curl the right toes under, launch into downward facing dog. Keeping that left foot floats. And then pump it up on the in-breath. Soften it down on the out-breath. You're ready, bring that shin behind the hand, slide your right leg down. Bring it on. So this song, he said he wrote after moving to that island off the coast of Maine. Your body stretch out like putty.
once the wind was at my back. Now the sea's gone slack, no seabird to me. That's on the black on the rails. Tore up my sails and left me drifting.
A little side note, regarding Be Here Now. Ron Doss was a professor with Timothy Leary at Harvard University during the 60s. The time when LSD was very prominent. And at that point in time, the government was using it as potential chemical warfare and testing it out with the military. Psychologists were using it as a way to conquer addictions and were having a lot of high success rates with it. And then, of course, these professors at Harvard decided they wanted to experience some collective studies with students on whether or not that drug could be used as a spiritual awakening. This was before it became illegal. And Ron Doss got into yoga, mindfulness, and meditation and decided he would quit his job, go to India. But he took a big vial of LSD, liquid acid, with him. And when he found his teacher, he was like, hey, you know, like, this has been my work back in the States. Can you try this and let me know what you think? And the guru took the whole vial, right, more than just a drop, and wasn't affected at all. Ram Dass decided at that moment he was done with drugs and he was going to take this path of practices with pranayama, meditation, philosophy to spiritually evolve. And the book that he wrote initially was called Be Here Now. Gently start to rise. Casually coming away from that stretch, palms down, curl the back toes, take it to down dog. So we are going to finish our Surya Namaskaras and move into balancing poses that demand our focus and demand us to be here now. First of all, just feel the glutes, feel that energy drain through the legs. Feel as though you're draining out any toxins, any tension, any stress, any worry. And then inhale, bring the feet to the top of the mat, open up halfway. Exhale, let go. Inhale all the way up. And then exhale, hands return to the heart. We're gonna work into some balancing poses. So, you know what? Stand a little bit forward. I've got 2 mats, it's a little too cushy. All right, you're gonna root and ground your left foot. Okay, when you're ready, you're gonna pick up your right ankle, cross it over the left knee, and then start to bend the left knee. And sink lower. Fixate your eyes at one spot. Left hand to waist. Peace mudra of right hand around the big toe. When you're ready, come up to Padangusthasana A. Maybe you don't even straighten the whole leg. Maybe you can. Bend the right knee, left hand crosses to it, right arm behind the back. Turn your head to the right to challenge your balance. I'm off today. Go ahead and come out. You guys have it. I lost it. All right. One more on this side. Pick up your right foot, catch it on the big toe side. Left arm up. Dancing Shiva. Feel it? Here now, other side. Right foot spreads out. Hands to prayer. Left ankle crosses over the right knee and just start slowly sitting down and back. Strike the bow. Swap the hand hold. Left arm back. The head doesn't have to turn, but for the challenge, turn it. So we're moving to dancing Shiva. Right leg stance. Left foot hold. Right arm sky. Hands and Shiva. Up, exhaling out. So when we're truly here in the now moment, we'll start to notice the things that could potentially throw us off. Okay, for instance, being away from the wall is different than being close to the wall. There's something about being close to a wall that can really kind of mess with your eyes a little bit. So for instance, when we were here and I started to turn, it totally threw me off. I lost it. So when I went this way, I was like, oh, why did I turn my body? Because now I'm having to face the wall again. So then I had to determine, okay, be here now. That's going to throw me off. I don't want to fall out. I'm going to keep gazing towards very best. Even though I want the challenge, it's not going to work here in this proximity. And so those are the little lessons we're learning on the mat every time we come to the mat. It's not just repeating the same poses all the time. It's learning about ourselves. It's learning about what am I bringing here today and how is it going to affect my practice versus yesterday. I didn't have that issue and I can be really open in my practice. These are all the little things that create the big yoga. All right, we're going to bring it back to the floor. You know what? The way we're going to bring it back to the floor, stay where you're at. You're in a good spot. So back to your right foot. Yeah. So let's go like a third of the way back on the mat or halfway down the mat. We're going to drop to toe balance. So what we're going to work towards is a squat, to crow, to a potential Savasana prep or headstand prep. So let's take the hands down and let's scoot the feet wider and see if it's possible to come into a squat. The heels can be up or down. This is a nice little setup. However, we can't quite get into crow unless we change a few things. So just watch me for a moment while you're sitting in that position. The hands would come first, the hips up second, the feet turn third, the elbows create a shelf next. Then we lift the heels and shift the weight and keep the head up. Still not ready to go up. I have to lean into it in order to fly the feet up. And then once I have the feet off the ground, I may feel safe to drop the head and keep the knees on the arms and point the toes. You don't have to go to the second point. If you just want to hang out and crow, don't feel like you have to drop. So let's just have some fun. Hands first. Hips up second. Good. Toes turn third. Good. Crank your arms down and create that shelf of the arms. Next. Rock the heels up. Stack the knees. Lift your head. Tip forward. Float the feet. And if you find that fulcrum of balance and if you feel safe, it's really not that far. It looks farther than it is. You just bring the head down and the feet will naturally stay up. Now, I do have a double mat. So if you find that, you know what, I want a little extra padding, you can just fold it over. Have your hands here so that you have that softer place to land. You can work on any of those poses. Maybe you want to skip crow and just work on your headstand prep. You're so close. Questions? All right, come on down. Okay. So any questions? So if you're struggling with crow, what is it with crow? Do you feel like you're falling face down? Do you feel like you're not getting your hips up enough? You can't get the second one up.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel like you're gonna fall. I was gonna say, it could potentially be your arms too. Maybe one feels more secure and stabilizing you and the other one's kind of leaning out. So make sure that you're using your triceps to pull the elbow down. And that can sometimes help. Anybody else? It's mental. It's a fear factor. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a fear factor. I like what you did. She had a fear factor. She brought the bolster over so that she had a soft place to land. Highly encourage that. So these poses that you're afraid to fall out of, do it at home on carpet or get pillows. And then once you practice it, it's just finding that point where you have, it's really about the tilt forward, which is the scary part. But once you have it and you've done it like 3 times, you'll never forget it. And then you've got it. So just keep practicing. All right, bring it back down to the floor. And I'm gonna give you a choice to be here, flat on your back, with your legs up. Or to catch your hips and have the legs angled over the face and flat. Pick one of those inversions. And Cindy's going up to shoulder stand, and shoulder stand is another great alternative. It's a kind of a pose in between the two. If you're in plow, don't worry if your feet touch or not. That's not the goal. It's not the point. We're trying to bring all this blood flow down towards the pool of the belly. If you're more inverted, you're trying to bring it more into the lake, heart, mind. If you're in plow, you can take your hands down and you're going to start to roll on down to the low back. And being here, you can slowly lower the heels. Take your time to engage in the core. And once the heels land, point the toes, inhale, stretch the arms overhead. Your arms stretching overhead, let your throat open. Let your low back sway. And then as you exhale, hug in. Drawing the knees towards the upper body, wrapping the arms lovingly around. And we're going to conclude with the twist. So I'd like us to go a little deeper today. So hook your right leg over your left. And there's one of two twists you can do here. One way would be just to fan the arms open, let the knees roll left. An alternate way is to take the hands to the feet. And then as you're moving into the twist, the right leg extends out and both the shoulder blades stay planted on the floor. And if you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, you can sit up, see what I'm doing. It involves a little bit more of an IT bend stretch. If you're looking more for the twist or to target the low back, I would say keep the legs crossed and roll. Unroll from that twist. Unhook the right leg. Hook the left leg over the right. Spin off to that side for the twist to affect the low back. Or stay centered, grab the feet. And then take the twist if you want to work the IT band more. And you can always blend both. One and then adding in the other. Or testing both out and then going back to the one where you feel like you need it the most. Hug the knees back in. By the way, this is Be Here Now. Sorry, it's a live version, but crowd gets quiet. At a time where you're going to get quiet and move into your deep state of relaxation. Find your way into corpse pose or a restorative pose. And I'll turn this up for you here. Possibilities for the future.
Trust.
Decide. I want you to deepen the flow of your breath and bring movement to your hands and feet. Curl in like a ball, roll to one side. As you come up to take a seat, I want you to find a block or blanket or a bolster to sit on. Once you find something to sit on, erect the spine, close the eyes. Contact the floor beneath the feet. Feel that surface underneath your seat. Lower body get heavy. Spring up through your heart. Rise to the crown of your head. Once you've connected to these two lines of energy, I want you to be
embracing the quiet spaces between the traffic, sounds from next door, anything stemming from this room. Shut off the visual stimulation, just listen. Be here now. Or a sound distracts you. When you notice you're analyzing, trying to figure it out, that's when you return back to some sort of technique, whether it's feeling your seat, lifting through the top of the head, watching breath, dropping into some internal silence. Join your palms together. You'll notice sometimes when you depart from yoga, your senses are heightened. You may notice times after you practice your yoga, you feel more in tune to your true self, or more in tune with nature. You may notice other things, but continuing practicing your mindfulness, notice how this practice affects you afterward. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The last thing I want to share with you, I thought this was interesting. You guys heard, I know engineers and producers of music are not as well known as like the artist or the star. But have you guys heard of Mutt Lange? Mutt Lange was married to Shania Twain for a long time. He was responsible for like a lot of rock acts coming through the 80s and 90s and anyway, he's worked with a lot of people. And he's super famous in the music world. But I found out something interesting about him. He highly believes in meditation. And he attributes a lot of his success to meditation. And so he meditates an hour every morning. And guess where he'll do it? In the music studios. As the artists are coming in, as they're setting up their equipment, as the drummer is beating the drums, trying to get the right sound and the mics hooked the right way, as the guitarists come in and start warming up their fingers, that's where he sits and meditates. And he's meditating and sitting there, and there's chaos basically all around him, but he's still able, through his entrainment, to drop into that space of meditation and then start the day. It's amazing, right? So anyway, it wasn't really about philosophy today, but hopefully a couple of these stories can inspire you to keep your practice up, whether it's meditation or whether it's, whatever fuels you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.